Okay, here we are back at the 402nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. Well, Mr. Kesh, are you ready to continue?
Yes, ready, willing, and able.
Okay.
And there will be more technologies which will come up in next few weeks and months, which will be as revolutionary, but it'll create a condition of what we call one nation government, where the Keshe Foundation will enforce our way of peace and what we call technology as one nation in one organization. It's very interesting. One of them, the articles published about the Lens exhibition. In the publication, the journalist says that the Keshe Foundation is bringing technology in exchange for peace. That people are becoming aware that we are not an organization just for technology, but we have a purpose in sharing our technology for creating peace, which I thought is very interesting when an article appears and they say the aim of the technology, the aim of the what we call work of the foundation. Okay, what's any questions?
We did have a question earlier from Saga SS of Brazil, and who has a concern about how you're going to handle, for example, the criminal organizations that might be preventing the unveiling of this technology or preventing the progress of this technology to be presented. Or other three-letter organizations that we know of that might not wish this to happen somehow. How is it you survived the last 10 years of giving out all your secrets, and how is it that you have this fearlessness that you can present this without agitating all these organizations that want to keep the status quo?
Pardon me? We have agitated all of them without a fail. There's a very interesting thing came up by Jalal, and amazing. He going through one of the teachings. He sent me a message. Can you listen to this message? And this is part of a teaching which was done in 2018. And when you listen to it, people close to us, they tell us they know that they're going to damage us. They tell us that they're part of that process of damaging us themselves. These are the closest people to the foundation. And it's a recording, it's actually recorded, the voice recording of the person confirming they know that they're going to damage us and how she has done wrongs, trying to do wrongs to be shown. And that is part of the whole structure. It hasn't stopped. The people who we kicked out of the Keshe Foundation in the past 12 months have delivered 2 terabytes of information to Iranian national security to stop the Keshe Foundation to go to Iran. 2 terabytes of everything they could have collected over the lifetime, and the Iranian national security has put it on the table. Mr. Kesh, the closest people around you are betraying you. But has he stopped us? Has he stopped the collaboration of the knowledge seekers? We don't look at the governments, we look at how you as knowledge seekers are working together. How closely each one of you is developing part of it, teaching part of it. We are a government, we are a structure. Now the governments will follow the structure. It's not chasing them to accept us. Now it's for them, we want to be part of it. You've seen this with the Chinese government in the past couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. We've seen this the same with the American administration in the background. We see the same with Iran. We see the same thing coming through what they call Russia and Japan. Because we carry on, we don't stop. We don't choose, we don't attack a government. We teach knowledge seekers in Hawaii as we teach the people, knowledge seekers in Canada as we do in China, as we do in Iran. We become a new structure. And the fear of governments is not a hidden structure on the ground. It's a very open structure which is helping the people, the agriculture, the humanity, and the rest of it. Yesterday, Iran Keshe Foundation has signed one of the most important agricultural contracts for collaboration with one of the major agricultural university in Iran. They wanted to sign it. They wanted to be, it will be announced by the Keshe Foundation in Iran. It's the same with China. It's the same with government sieging. We are not on the ground attacking people. We're teaching so openly that the governments have to bring the change. And it's there. We have become an influential nation as one nation without borders. We are a scientific organization with evaluation and respect for the soul of the man through technology. And that's where we have reached you. And they can come as much as they come together. They stopped past 20 years. Everything we've seen, attacking individual knowledge seekers, attacking the technology, banning us from all the television and radio stations, everything else you can imagine. Can you imagine 2 terabytes of information which has been gathered over 20, 30 years and being given and falsified to a government to stop the government receiving a new technology? And what would the national securities do? Just put it on the table. Mr. Keshe, this is what the closest people ever you thought have brought here to stop you. You do not know how much damage is getting done in the background, but has he stopped us? We attacked only the spread of knowledge. We attacked frontline to spread knowledge for everyone to have access to it. A man in Amazon, a professor in Chinese university, a spaceman in NASA, and God knows what. This is what is bothering the government. Openness to shared knowledge and technology. Everything has been tried. Everything, ever any organization, any scientist been and could be done to, they've done. Has they stopped you growing your fruits in the garden? How many of you have been affected by Corona and you have found the solution through the Ganses? How many of you have changed condition around you with different application of it? What we show on the screen, the technologies, is a very advanced understanding of the interaction of the fields. In 10 years' time, it'll be as common as you change your, most probably, pots and pans. But this is a process. This is where we set out. We never think of our enemies because they're there to serve us. It was amazing to listen to what Jalal brought to our attention. In 2018, they knew they're going to attack us to destroy us. And they knew they're part of it. And it's a pleasure to listen to it. That how we still supported them. How we still stood there to be. One day their soul will elevate. One day they will elevate the understand of what they've done. And when I look at the top groups of the Keshe Foundation, several hundreds people who work in different ways, have any of us stopped serving, sharing? Have any of us got anything for it? but the pleasure of knowing we can change somebody's life in the coming time. This unit we released today, you will understand how you've been one of the biggest hurricanes in the world of science and technology in the next few months. When people abandon cars on the street, they don't need. You were looking for hovering car, you were looking for flying cars, still wheels on it. This is a different kettle of fish. This is different understanding. Thanks God, I was stopped to show the flying car in Eindhoven in 2011. Now they cannot stop this. This is in the hand of manufactured in China. It will be developed completely further completion in Austria and secondly manufactured in Iran. Iran factory has gone into operation. They're setting, they're already in it. You think I need permission from the Iranian government, so I need the permission from American government or Austrian government or any government to fly this system. I land, you will see. I fly, you will feel. We brought the change. Now is time for them to understand what change is going to do with them. How many of you are going to be the first passengers in these machines? How many of you are prepared to go to moon? How many of you are prepared to go to Mars? How many of you are prepared to go beyond the boundary of this solar system for the first time within minutes and days? We flew a satellite how many years ago? And we hope it has reached the boundary of the solar system and has gone through it. What is the nearest star to us? You'll be landing there, or it's one of his planets in a matter of hours and minutes if you know how to run this machine. What you have to make sure you don't interact, that you bring the interaction of the soul and solar physicality with the system. You still keep it intact. This is a fish tank which you'll be looking for. And the fish inside is the man and his soul. How many of you billionaires and millionaires around Keshe Foundation will buy these and just put them in the cities for people just to walk in to overcome their hunger? How many of you will give a gift to prisoners with the vertical and horizontal units to change the man? We don't need Cassius Clay to become Muhammad Ali by change of belief in gods in different names. Both believing in the same creator and the creator of the same system in front of them. Man will mature very fast. We gave every opportunity to governments to follow. With our wish and support of the soul of the Universal Council, we achieved world peace. Now the system will enforce permanent peace. Unconditional permanent peace.
Yeah. We had a question in the live stream from Freed, who asks, in enhancing the soul of the individuals within these units, is there also a collective enhancement of the human soul of the people present on Earth and in the universe?
In a way, we connect to, yes. We become part of a totality. Earth has been a rocking ship. And now with the introduction of these new technologies, we bring it to its balance to become part of the stable part of the universal community. When the first,
go ahead, sorry.
When these systems start flying and delivering around the world in the next few weeks and months, governments will change. They have no choice. This is part of the delivery of the systems on 5+1 in a way of 5+1 plus Iran is a new structure for world peace. Outside the framework of what we call Mickey Mouse Game of United Nations. It has a good representative of why we work and we push with universal, what we call with 5+1. It is because you have the Chinese, you have the Russians, you have so what we call the Catholics, you have the Americans, which sits in different one, and you have a representative of Iran as an Islamic nation. And with it, we can bring a good balance where America represents in the background the structure of the state of Israel, or what we call Judaism, or the belief of the path of Moses. In a way, it's Buddhist, the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims are all around 5+1. And we can achieve peace through it, not just peace for Iran, but peace internationally for all the nations. There's never been such a collective, what I call unison's bunch of religions sitting around in the name of the politics. And we are all in it. You have Germany, which represents Rothschilds, who have been one of the biggest betrayal of the whole system. Germany is there for us to bring Rothschilds on the leash, and we will do so. We'll return the wealth of Rothschild back to humanity, what they stole. And with it, through the other channels, we bring representation of the humanity. The Buddhists, America representing the Jewish state, the French and the Italians representing the state of Catholicism and Catholic religion, Iran representing the Islamic world. It's a best pot that we could bring peace to all nations, and nobody has ever seen it this way. And this is why we work with it. It'll become a position that all nations will accept. Peace, not just through technology, but through equality of all of them together. We know what we've done and we know how we'll change it. You look at the 5+1 as a political position. We look at the 5+1 as unification of all the religions and path of beliefs. And with it, with the politicians which are involved in it. Carry on.
Okay, we have a couple of hands up here from our attendees, Ed and Jalal. Ed, if you'd like to go first.
Oh, thank you, Rick. Good morning, Mr. Keshe. This is Ed from Indiana. My question involves the pricing of these units. I know they're quite fair in terms of, medical devices. I mean, the technology is just out of sight. And, but you refer to many of us being able to take advantage of this. Who will be the first ones and stuff you talk about? For many of us, for instance, to pay for a trip on one of these as advertised in the store is still quite high. How do you see us being able to participate?
These are set for very much what we call knowledge seekers who can go and break the barrier. There is a reason for it. There is a reason we put this kind of figures. There will be a bunch of knowledge seekers will be given what we call different valuations for it. It's not the price, it's just showing the man can go, with what value can go, and then opening up the space technology the way we want it. Whenever a man given a free, he has abused it. We gave you the MAGRAPH system free knowledge, and you and people around it use it to ridicule the Keshe Foundation. But if you look at the horizontal unit, just have a look at it in the horizontal unit. It has the most complicated, sophisticated in that ad of the MAGRAPH unit. You don't know how to use it, we know. And this is what the nature of the man is. He has no value when he doesn't pay for it. As always said, in a serious but in a joking way, why men have no value for their wives, but they have a lot of respect for their mistresses. Wife is the right of the way. Mistress you spend money on. You have respect for the money you spend. And this is what it is. When we gave you the technologies free in blueprints, everything came with it. Now you pay for it, you respect it, you apply it and deploy it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Jalal.
Hi, can you give me just 2 minutes and I will come back? I have here noise in the background.
No problem. Any other question? This machine on the screen has changed and will change the destiny of mankind.
I have a question here, Mr. Keshe, from Malcolm. I believe he's from Ireland. Who says, again, congratulations on delivering a paradigm shift in humanity, Mr. Keshe. My question is, will you and the knowledge seekers teach a program to help the knowledge seekers attain this direct connection with the soul? I understand all your teachings give the hints and insights for us to make that connection, but will there be a specific training to advance that? Blessings, Malcolm.
Through use of the technology, many knowledge seekers will find a path, the connection between the soul and the soul of physicality, and that will become a path of knowledge. And that knowledge will be gained once by the knowledge seekers, then they will teach it through the soul, not through the word. This is the way we do.
Ways that's being done now through various workshops, both public and private. Often the topics can be different, but the underlying theme now is about the connection with the soul, or feeling the feels and this kind of thing.
Well, yeah, it is. It will come. In the process of the understanding will come. When you look at this unit, if you look at it, if I can draw it in a different way, if you look at it, this is a ray of light. And it'll travel with the speed and dimension of the light. And in that speed of light, the spectrum sits. The spectrum, the soul of the man feels too. This will not transmute the physicality of the man, but will transmute the soul of the man and the elevation of the soul of the man in the process of the transportation. And then you have as you entered in a dimension of the soul of physicality, you have your soul of physicality to it too. And then you understand how the two become balanced. In the past few months' teachings, I kept on referring to book 1, book 2, book 3. And now you understand. The book 2 is where, book 1 is where you started from. Put it in the dimension of the plasma or the soul. Book 1 is where you land in a dimension of matter state if you decide. The same way is you can go the reverse. But now you have a tool where the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man in both dimensions are protected, are part of, are within the structure. That was the dream of every prophet. To bring the soul of the physicality and the soul of the man to understand each other's position and become one. And I always thought the teaching of the soul, they tried to bring that dimension, but it brought the punishment with the dimension of the soul. It's the first time we share the knowledge as a gift, and that gift allows the two to become one. There is no punishment. The elevation of the soul is the only option, both in the dimension of physicality and the soul of the man, soul of physicality of the man. As I said before, when the Creator works, he works to perfection, with no failure and no pitfalls. Any other question?
Good day, Mr. Cash. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Jalal.
Mr. Cash, you know, there is a group set themselves to serve, and we were wondering how we supply by materials, and in one day, materials supplied to us as a gift from outside this group, one who was being touched by your knowledge, and he showed his appreciation to this knowledge and to your gift, and he supplied us about 3,000 meters of material. It was beautiful, and this is the way when we say, when you give, you shall receive. So this is a confirmation of this, and congratulations, Mr. Cash, for all this advancement and this knowledge. Thank you very much.
I think, thank you very much. You will see the benefit of this technology where the Keshe Foundation cannot be kept away by news. And many of those who are the followers of the foundation, but they kept quiet because of the negative informations which put in, but in the background, they're there to serve humanity. What will be interesting is when the Keshe Foundation will put one of these systems very soon in landing spaces in Linz and for the world to see. The reality is we have touched the soul of man. It's just the soul of physicality of the man which has chosen to go the wrong way. And this enhancement unit, this flight system, is a lot of knowledge seekers should have seen it coming. It's about to come. But now we, even within the knowledge seekers, people who work around close to us, I kept this away as a secret, that when we are totally ready for it to go, when we are there, when mankind switches to understanding of the next process. And now we are ready. Mankind is ready to move. It becomes part of that light, becomes a part of ray. And many, many people will turn to be that way. And this is part of the, what we call the peace process between the soul of the man and the soul of physicality of the man, where mankind will find peace, and then we'll start all moving in the same direction. Thank you very much for your hard work, Jalal, in the background. And thank you very much for the information you brought us.
You're most welcome, Mr. Cash.
You're welcome.
I have another knowledge seeker here of the Italian variety. That's also happens to be a Mojan by name of Stefania. Perhaps we can allow her to go next.
Hello, Rick, Mr. Cash, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Io non ho alzato la... I didn't hide, I didn't... did I raise the hand to talk?
Are you there, Stefania? Are you with us?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always with you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you as usual. Somehow you can't hear us as usual.
I don't know why I didn't raise my hands. I just make a question. I read it in the chat. I didn't raise my hands, but I don't know if Rick want me to talk or.
You are here. You better talk.
Your virtual hand was raised.
Sorry, Rick.
Got activated.
Sorry. No, I just make a question. But yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Cash. Thank you for everything you brought. I don't have word to. I'm so happy, and I couldn't wait for this any longer. And yes, I do agree. Is a perfect timing, and we're all ready for this. And we can wait to go to the next steps. Is world peace and work as one. Yes, my question was. I wrote that was this change. It will happen like a quantum jump, where will happen like all together. All together, we gonna, the moment one elevate, we all gonna elevate together as one.
It depends if you're ready to. We all have different strengths. We all operate in different strength and understanding. And if you have reached that point of understanding and the strength of emotion of the soul, yes, you can. It can be done.
Is there a minimum number of humans that would have to elevate themselves in order for this sort of more of a quantum jump, like Stefania mentions, a defined change happens at a certain point, or is it more gradual and will happen over time?
It will be gradual. All man will not be elevated at the same time. They do and take according to understanding and the strength of the work.
Sorry, I'm translating as well in Italian. Thank you so much. Thank you. I can wait. Thank you so much. Alice, you know, Mr. Cash, the first day I met you, I didn't know nothing about all this, nothing. But first time I met you, something in my head said, you will be the one who will brought the change. I didn't know nothing about anything, even though I don't know nothing, but it's just like, to me, I don't know, I'm so grateful that you are here with us and sharing your knowledge, and I'm very super happy that I met you in my path. And you know, I always trusted you for first second. It's something you cannot buy or whatever. But really, thank you from the bottom of my heart for what you giving to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question?
By the way, the 3rd was my birthday. 3rd of October. 3rd of October was my birthday. Thank you for the
Happy
present.
birthday. Happy birthday. Shall we call it a day? I think we had a good representation of what the technology is delivering and to be delivered.
That sounds fine, Mr. Cash. If that's what you wish, then that's a good idea.
Day. I think we have brought a massive change and understanding and a change in humanity and how it can be. One of our targets in the Keshe Foundation is the same as we start sharing the enhancement units amongst the knowledge seekers. We would like to do the same with the enhancement transportation, the flight system, but the knowledge seekers stay in control and become part of the structure of this system where we dictate everything else which comes as part of this technology to bring the change. And I'm sure many governments will start changing their position and understanding once these systems are literally demonstrated in open, and soon will bring the change. And this will be a massive step change for many governments to accept the new knowledge and the new technology. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Keshe Foundation in the background, especially the production team, Marius and Casimir and the rest, trying to get things done. I'm sure next week you will see another enhancement units from the Keshe Foundation, which is life-changing for many of us, and will bring another change in the dimension. As I said, it's not just bringing that pain pad, but bringing edge of science and technology knowledge that it brings that change which we are pushing for. Thank you very much, Rick.
Mr. Cash, it is an earthquake in 20 in order of magnitude, shaking them.
I hope so. I think we need 21. They will be at it. But I think the government just start realizing how things have changed and how we will change. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for today. And I hope we'll bring you another dimension next week in teachings. I don't think there's been more fundamental change in teaching than today, if people understand the application of it. Thank you very much.
It's interesting that earlier today or yesterday, depending on your time zone, we had William Shatner, otherwise known as Captain Kirk, become the oldest astronaut in the world. He went up on a Origin spacecraft and went into space, at least into the blackness of space. And his comments were quite incredible. It completely shook him and changed him. And he was actually had tears when he came back, trying to express himself for the experience that he had. And that's on top of a fire-breathing rocket. So if we can make that experience more gentle for souls like that, he is now 90 years old. So it's a strange coincidence that this technology is being revealed now, and we see clear how the future will unfold. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe.
Oh, you're welcome. I hope we see many of these in the next 12 months landing on the moon together and bringing a lot of changes where governments realize they cannot govern beyond 1 meter, 2 meters above the space of this planet. Or we'll see new changes where people have the freedom to decide. And this is what I said. There will be no leadership and no kingship, because all we are free as man with soul and physicality. There'll be very interesting changes which will come. The faster we push these units through, the first 100 units has been ordered to Chinese manufacturing system. Part of it will go for the enhancement unit, and part of it will go for the flight system. But the combination of the two will force governments to a new dimension and new approach, where we can fly from Jindanjiang with goods and materials and land in lanes in less than a few minutes. And then the governments understand. We use Keshe Foundation properties for our purpose. We don't need their landing rights. We use Mexico as a place to land. We use Arizona as a place to land. We use our rights, and with it, we'll bring the change. Thank you very much indeed. And I hope next week will give you a bigger surprise, as I hope will be in the pipeline. Thank you very much, Rick.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Okay, I think I'll play the same 3 videos that we were gifted today, and we'll go out with those. So this has been the 402nd Knowledge Seekers Workshop here on Thursday, October 14th, 2021. We do look forward to the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace and Justice on Tuesday coming up next week. It's Tuesday, October 19th, and that'll start at the 4 p.m. Central European time. People are welcome to meet with the members of the Universal Council there. Okay, thank you everybody for attending today's workshop, and I'll play the vertical enhancement unit video to start with, the horizontal enhancement unit, and then the flight enhancement spaceship unit. Okay, bye for now.